Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into a fascinating truth about human attraction. Many people wonder, why is it that hot women, the kind of women everyone wants, so often find themselves attracted to narcissists instead of nice guys? This isn't just a random pattern, it's deeply psychological, and once we uncover the layers, it all begins to make sense. The first reason lies in the illusion of confidence. Narcissists know how to walk into a room and make everyone feel their presence, their posture, their words, their energy. It all screams certainty. Confidence is one of the most magnetic traits in the world, and women are naturally drawn to it because it signals leadership, protection, and strength. Nice guys often have genuine kindness, but kindness without confidence can look like weakness. While the nice guy might sit quietly, hoping his politeness is enough, the narcissist takes the spotlight, commanding attention and making bold moves. That energy can feel irresistible, even if it is just a carefully crafted mask. The illusion of confidence is one of the strongest forces that explains why hot women often find themselves attracted to narcissists instead of nice guys. Confidence is magnetic, it draws people in like a flame, and women especially are deeply wired to respond to it. A man who appears self-assured gives off signals of strength, power, and protection, traits that trigger attraction on both a conscious and subconscious level. Narcissists are masters at creating this aura of confidence, even if much of it is nothing more than a mask. They walk into a room as though they own it, they talk with authority, and they carry themselves as if the world revolves around them. To the outside eye, especially to a woman looking for a strong partner, that behavior creates the illusion that this man knows who he is, knows what he wants, and can lead with certainty. And for many women, that illusion is enough to spark attraction. The tricky part is that many nice guys have the very qualities women truly want in the long run: loyalty, kindness, patience, reliability, but they often lack the confidence to package those traits in an attractive way. A nice guy might sit back and let his good heart speak for itself, but in a world where attraction is first sparked by presence and energy, he may end up overlooked. Women are not drawn to insecurity or hesitation. If a man cannot carry himself with assurance, no matter how good his intentions are, it rarely creates the same spark that a narcissist can trigger instantly. The narcissist, even when he doesn't have genuine depth, projects an image of boldness and self-belief that women often mistake for true strength. Confidence is linked to survival instincts as well. On a primal level, women are drawn to men who seem like they can protect, provide, and lead. When a narcissist steps into that role by showing dominance and self-importance, it aligns with these subconscious desires. A woman might not stop to analyze whether this man is truly capable of being a stable partner. She is responding to the signals his body language, tone of voice, and demeanor are sending. Nice guys, on the other hand, may unintentionally send the opposite signals. By being too agreeable, too cautious, or too hesitant, they might project insecurity, which comes across as weakness rather than kindness. It's not that women dislike kindness, but if it is wrapped in uncertainty, it loses its power to inspire attraction. The illusion of confidence works so well because it creates emotional security, even if it's temporary. When a woman is around a narcissist, she feels like she is with someone who is certain of his own value. That certainty makes her feel chosen by someone important, which boosts her own self-esteem. It's not necessarily about the narcissist's true worth, but about the way he makes her feel in his presence. This is where nice guys often miss out. They may be genuinely interested, but their hesitation, their lack of assertiveness, and their overly careful nature can make a woman feel uncertain about his strength. Instead of boosting her self-esteem, it sometimes makes her question whether he can handle challenges, protect her, or lead in life. Another reason confidence is so attractive is because it sets the tone in social dynamics. Narcissists dominate conversations, they command attention, and they make bold choices without hesitation. That decisiveness is appealing because it feels like leadership. Even when it's arrogance, it still communicates direction. Women often associate that direction with safety, because being with someone who seems sure of himself feels easier than being with someone who second guesses everything. Nice guys tend to avoid conflict, wait for the woman to decide, or overthink their actions. While their intentions may be respectful, it often dilutes the energy of masculine decisiveness that women crave. The result is that they get overshadowed by men who appear more certain of themselves, even if it's just an act. Confidence also creates excitement. When a narcissist acts boldly, he introduces intensity into interactions. He might approach a woman directly, make daring compliments, or confidently tease her in ways that nice guys avoid. That spark of intensity excites emotions, and emotions are the foundation of attraction. Nice guys worried about offending or being rejected often play it too safe. By keeping their approach overly polite or predictable, they fail to ignite that emotional spark. Women end up feeling like something is missing, even though on paper the nice guy has everything she should want. The missing ingredient is the energy of confidence, the thrill that comes from being around someone who acts without fear. It's also important to note that narcissists don't just project confidence. They amplify it through appearance and presentation. They dress in ways that draw attention, they maintain strong body language, and they know how to tell stories that make them seem larger than life. This carefully crafted presentation reinforces the illusion that they are high-value men. Nice guys, meanwhile, often underestimate the power of presentation. They rely on their personality to shine through, but in reality, attraction often starts long before deeper traits are noticed. If a man doesn't carry himself with pride, if his appearance doesn't reflect confidence, he is likely to be overlooked in favor of the man who knows how to project value. The illusion of confidence is a powerful magnet, one that narcissists use to their full advantage. Women are not necessarily attracted to the toxicity behind narcissism, but to the energy it radiates. They feel the pull of certainty, boldness, and dominance. And it creates an instant spark that nice guys too often fail to provide. The key lesson here is not that women want narcissists, but that women want the confidence narcissists display. Nice guys who learn to embody genuine confidence without arrogance, without games, can create the same magnetic effect while still offering the qualities that truly matter in a lasting relationship. They don't need to become narcissists, but they do need to learn that kindness alone without strength often goes unnoticed in a world where confidence is king. The thrill of the chase is one of the most overlooked yet powerful psychological forces in attraction. And it explains a lot about why hot women often gravitate toward narcissists rather than nice guys. Human beings are wired to desire what is not easily accessible, and this is especially true in romantic dynamics. When someone is unpredictable, mysterious, or hard to fully pin down, it creates a tension that stimulates the mind and emotions. Narcissists are experts at creating this effect because they thrive on keeping people hooked through cycles of attention and withdrawal. They know how to give just enough to spark interest, but pull back before a woman can feel secure. And that pattern makes her chase the emotional high of winning him over. Nice guys, on the other hand, tend to make themselves too available too quickly. They shower a woman with consistent attention, validation, and predictability, which may feel comforting but often lacks the excitement and challenge that the human psyche unconsciously craves. The chase itself triggers powerful emotional responses. When a narcissist gives a woman intense attention, compliments, charm, passion, she feels on top of the world, as though she is the center of his universe. But when he suddenly withdraws, ignores her, or becomes distant, she feels a sharp emotional drop. That contrast makes her crave the high of his validation again, and she begins to invest more effort in trying to win back his affection. This cycle of highs and lows works like an addictive drug. The unpredictability keeps her hooked because the brain releases more dopamine when rewards are inconsistent. It's the same psychological principle behind gambling. People get addicted not because they win every time, but because they never know when the win will come. Narcissists embody this same uncertainty, and it creates a thrill that many women mistake for deep passion. In contrast, nice guys often don't create this roller coaster effect. They are consistent, available, and transparent about their feelings. While these are admirable traits in a long-term partner, they do not trigger the same dopamine rush in the early stages of attraction. A woman may feel flattered and secure, but she may also feel like there is no challenge, no spark, and no mystery. This predictability can cause her to lose interest, even though the nice guy is offering what she claims she wants, stability and devotion. The paradox is that stability can feel boring in the early stages of attraction when compared to the emotional highs and lows offered by a narcissist. The thrill of the chase is not just about unpredictability, it is also about perceived value. Narcissists position themselves as prizes to be won. By withholding full commitment or pulling back emotionally, they make a woman feel that his attention is scarce and therefore more valuable. The less available he seems, the more effort she puts in to secure his affection. This scarcity mindset magnifies his perceived worth. Nice guys, however, often do the opposite. They make themselves abundantly available, responding immediately to messages, always making time, and putting the woman first before she has invested anything in return. While it seems like generosity, it inadvertently communicates that his attention is easy to get, and psychologically, people do not value what comes too easily. Another factor is that the chase makes women feel emotionally alive. The roller coaster of emotions, the joy of receiving affection and the anxiety of its absence, creates intensity that feels like passion. Many women confuse this intensity with true love, believing that the emotional struggle is proof of depth. Narcissists capitalize on this by giving just enough to keep the fire burning, but never enough to let the woman feel fully secure. This keeps her emotionally invested and constantly chasing the next high. Nice guys, on the other hand, often fail to create intensity. Their steady and safe approach may be healthier, but it doesn't ignite the same spark, leading women to feel that something is missing. The thrill of the chase also ties into human ego. When a woman wins the attention of a narcissist, even temporarily, it feels like a victory. Narcissists often make themselves seem above others, creating the impression that their love is something rare and difficult to attain. So when a woman gets their attention, she feels special, as though she has achieved something significant. This sense of achievement boosts her self-esteem, reinforcing the addictive nature of the dynamic. With nice guys, the opposite occurs. Because they are too accessible, their attention doesn't feel earned. A woman might appreciate it on the surface, but it doesn't give her the same rush of accomplishment. She doesn't feel like she had to work for it, and therefore it doesn't carry the same weight emotionally. It's important to understand that the thrill of the chase is not about women consciously choosing chaos over stability. Rather, it's an unconscious response to the way human psychology works. Excitement, unpredictability, and scarcity create stronger emotional bonds in the short term than consistency and availability. Narcissists, whether intentionally or instinctively, exploit this dynamic to keep women hooked. Nice guys fail to generate the same level of emotional investment because they don't play the game of scarcity or unpredictability. They assume that giving more and being available will win affection, but in reality, it often has the opposite effect. This doesn't mean nice guys should turn into narcissists. The key is balance. Women do want stability and kindness, but they also crave excitement and mystery. A man who can provide both the security of a stable partner and the thrill of someone confident, unpredictable in fun ways, and slightly challenging, creates the perfect balance of attraction and trust. Nice guys who learn to hold back just enough, maintain boundaries, and bring a sense of mystery into their interactions can break the cycle of being overlooked. They can generate the thrill of the chase without the toxicity of manipulation. The thrill of the chase explains why so many women fall into the trap of narcissistic relationships. It's not that they love the narcissist's flaws, but that they become addicted to the roller coaster he creates. Nice guys, by eliminating the chase altogether, often remove the very tension that sparks attraction in the first place. The solution is not to abandon kindness, but to combine it with a sense of challenge, to understand that attraction thrives on both emotional security and emotional excitement. When a man can strike that balance, he doesn't just win a woman's heart temporarily, he keeps her interest for the long run. The power of charisma and presentation plays a huge role in why hot women often gravitate toward narcissists rather than nice guys. Narcissists understand either consciously or instinctively that the way they present themselves to the world matters just as much as, if not more than, what they truly are inside. They know how to package themselves as high-value individuals. They walk into a room with their head held high, clothes that highlight their best features, and a body language that signals dominance and certainty. They are storytellers, entertainers, and charmers. They make ordinary interactions feel extraordinary by adding flair, intensity, and confidence. This is not necessarily a reflection of their true worth, but rather of their skill at creating a perception of worth. And in the world of attraction, perception is everything. Women are not drawn to narcissists because they are inherently better men, but because they seem better through the power of presentation and charisma. Nice guys often fall short in this area because they underestimate how much first impressions matter. They rely on their good character to eventually shine through, believing that their loyalty, kindness, and respect will speak for themselves over time. While those traits are valuable, the reality is that women may never get to see them if they are not initially drawn in. Attraction begins before deeper qualities are revealed, and if a man fails to spark curiosity from the start, he risks being overlooked. Narcissists, on the other hand, make sure they capture attention instantly. They know that people remember how you make them feel, and they deliberately create moments that make women feel special, excited, or entertained. Charisma is not about physical appearance alone. It is about energy. A narcissist has the ability to make a woman feel like she is the only person in the room. He can hold eye contact in a way that feels both intense and magnetic. He knows how to use words that flatter, tease, and provoke curiosity. His voice often carries certainty, and his body language communicates control. These small but powerful cues combine to create an aura of confidence and charm that women naturally respond to. Nice guys may be equally capable of connecting deeply, but their approach is often too safe, too subtle, and too reserved. They don't radiate the same captivating energy, which is why their interactions can feel less memorable, compared to the charismatic pull of a narcissist. Another critical factor is the way narcissists tell stories and build narratives about themselves. They know how to highlight their accomplishments, exaggerate their experiences, and frame their lives as adventurous or grand. Even when these stories are half-truths, they are told with such conviction that they captivate the listener. Women are drawn into this narrative because it feels like they are stepping into the life of someone important, someone with excitement, someone who stands out. Nice guys, by contrast, often avoid boasting or drawing too much attention to themselves. They fear coming across as arrogant, so they minimize their own achievements. While humility is a beautiful quality, it often fails to create intrigue. In the absence of intrigue, the woman may not feel the same magnetic pull, even though the nice guy may actually have more to offer in reality. Presentation also extends to physical appearance and lifestyle choices. Narcissists tend to invest in their looks because they understand the impact it has on attraction. They dress sharply, groom themselves meticulously, and present an image of success and status, whether it's the watch on their wrist, the way they style their hair, or the confidence in their stride. Every detail is carefully curated to communicate high value. This visual appeal reinforces the illusion that they are a man of worth. Nice guys, on the other hand, often neglect this aspect. They might think dressing casually or not paying much attention to style is acceptable because the right woman will love me for who I am. While that may be true in theory, attraction is not built in theory. It is built in real-world encounters where visual and non-verbal cues create immediate impressions. Charisma also thrives on emotional intelligence, but narcissists use it differently. They have a knack for reading a room, spotting vulnerabilities, and saying exactly what someone wants to hear. They may not use this skill with genuine intent, but they know how to mirror emotions, flatter egos, and make someone feel seen in the moment. This creates a powerful sense of connection, even if it's shallow. A woman may walk away from the interaction feeling like she has just met someone extraordinary, when in reality she has simply been manipulated by someone skilled at emotional performance. Nice guys usually lack this flair. They may be genuine, but their inability to create the same kind of emotional intensity makes their presence feel less compelling in comparison. Another reason women are drawn to charisma is because it signals social proof. Narcissists often surround themselves with people, show off their popularity, or position themselves as leaders in social groups. When a woman sees others drawn to a man, it triggers a subconscious belief that he must be valuable. This herd effect enhances his attractiveness, making her more likely to want him. Nice guys, however, may not put themselves in the spotlight or showcase social dominance. They may prefer smaller circles or avoid competing for attention. While that might make them more grounded, it does not project the same social appeal that women instinctively find attractive in the early stages. The key truth here is that charisma and presentation act as amplifiers. They magnify whatever qualities a man has and package them in a way that becomes irresistible. Narcissists excel at this because they prioritize appearance over substance. They know that if they can win the first impression, they can hook a woman's interest and keep her invested long enough to create emotional attachment. Nice guys often fail to leverage this because they assume that sincerity alone will shine through eventually. Unfortunately, attraction rarely gives people enough time for eventually. First impressions dominate, and if a man cannot present himself as confident, engaging, and intriguing, his deeper qualities may never be discovered. What this means is not that women prefer narcissists over genuinely kind men, but that women are more easily captivated by the charisma and presentation narcissists display. The pull is not toward their toxicity, but toward the energy they project. Nice guys can learn from this without compromising their authenticity. They can improve how they dress, how they speak, and how they carry themselves. They can learn to tell their stories with confidence, to present their kindness as strength rather than passivity. By mastering the art of charisma and presentation, nice guys can break the cycle of being overlooked and step into the spotlight without losing their integrity. The subconscious need for challenge is one of the most powerful forces that explains why hot women often find themselves more drawn to narcissists than nice guys. Human psychology thrives on stimulation, novelty, and tension, and when it comes to relationships, many women mistake these elements for passion and chemistry. Narcissists are skilled at creating this kind of emotional turbulence. They don't give their affection in a steady, predictable way. Instead, they provide it in doses, moments of intense attention followed by distance, approval followed by criticism, intimacy followed by withdrawal. This inconsistency keeps a woman on edge, always wondering where she stands, and that very uncertainty becomes addictive. Nice guys, on the other hand, are consistent, loyal, and predictable. They provide stability and reassurance, but because it lacks the element of challenge, some women unconsciously interpret it as dullness or lack of passion. Attraction is often linked to the emotions someone evokes rather than the actual qualities they have. Narcissists create a roller coaster of highs and lows that generates powerful feelings. When a narcissist showers a woman with attention, it feels euphoric, like she is the most important person in his life. But when he withdraws, ignores, or criticizes, it creates a void that hurts deeply. The brain, however, begins to associate this pain with longing, and the woman starts craving the next high. This cycle of anticipation and reward mirrors the dynamics of addiction. The more uncertain the outcome, the more invested she becomes in pursuing it. That unpredictability acts as a challenge, making her feel like she must earn his love. And once she does, even temporarily, the victory feels intoxicating. Nice guys rarely create this emotional contrast. Their steady affection feels safe, but does not trigger the same chemical rush, which is why some women dismiss it as too easy. Go on a deeper level, many women equate challenge with value. When something is hard to get, it feels more precious. Narcissists leverage this psychology by making their affection scarce. They may withhold commitment, act aloof, or send mixed signals that keep the woman guessing. This scarcity of affection convinces her that his love must be worth chasing because it is not easily given. Nice guys, however, often give freely from the start. They text back immediately, prioritize her constantly, and make themselves fully available without requiring her to invest in return. While this seems noble, it communicates that his love requires no effort to earn, and psychologically, people rarely value what they don't have to work for. The challenge is missing, so the excitement is missing too. The subconscious desire for challenge also ties into ego validation. Winning over a man who is difficult to please or hard to secure provides a woman with a sense of achievement. If he finally commits, she feels like she has conquered something rare and valuable, which boosts her self-esteem. Narcissists play directly into this need by being inconsistent and selective with their affection. A woman feels she must compete or prove herself to keep his attention, and this struggle becomes part of her emotional attachment. With a nice guy, there is no conquest. His affection is offered without resistance, and while it is genuine, it doesn't create the same sense of victory. Some women, without realizing it, end up feeling less satisfied because the relationship lacks the thrill of a challenge. Another element is the confusion between intensity and love. Many women equate emotional turbulence with deep passion. When a narcissist argues, withdraws, or creates drama and then reconciles with intense affection, the cycle feels powerful. The lows make the highs feel even higher, and the intensity is mistaken for true love. In reality, it is simply emotional manipulation, but in the moment, it feels like chemistry. Nice guys, by avoiding drama, disagreements, or emotional games, provide peace and stability. But because there are no extreme highs and lows, some women interpret the calm as lack of passion. They don't feel the same intensity, so they conclude that something is missing, even though what is missing is really just toxicity disguised as excitement. The subconscious need for challenge also reflects the human tendency to want what we can't fully have. Narcissists present themselves as desirable yet unattainable, keeping women hooked in the pursuit. They often act as though they are too important, too busy, or too in demand to be fully captured. This aura of being slightly out of reach makes them more attractive because people instinctively chase what they cannot easily possess. Nice guys, however, make themselves fully attainable from the start. They reveal all their feelings quickly, commit without hesitation, and remove any sense of pursuit. While this is a sign of honesty and devotion, it eliminates the tension that keeps attraction alive in the early stages. What makes this dynamic dangerous is that many women do not consciously realize they are chasing a challenge. They simply interpret the excitement, the uncertainty, and the emotional roller coaster as chemistry. They tell themselves, "This feels passionate, so it must be love," when in reality, they are hooked on the unpredictable behavior of the narcissist. Meanwhile, the nice guy who could provide genuine care, stability, and peace is overlooked because his love feels too calm, too easy, and therefore less thrilling. The tragedy is that the very qualities that make him a good partner are the same qualities that make him less appealing in a world where challenge is mistaken for value. This subconscious craving for challenge doesn't mean women intentionally choose toxic partners. It means that the wiring of the human brain often mistakes scarcity, unpredictability, and struggle for passion. Narcissists exploit this wiring while nice guys fail to stimulate it. The solution is not for nice guys to become manipulative, but to understand that attraction needs more than consistency. It needs a spark. By maintaining a sense of mystery, setting boundaries, and not giving everything away too quickly, nice guys can introduce the challenge element into their relationships in healthy ways. They can show that their affection is valuable without making it toxic, creating excitement without chaos. The subconscious need for challenge explains why narcissists so often overshadow nice guys in the early stages of attraction. Women are not consciously choosing arrogance over kindness. They are responding to the thrill of unpredictability and the illusion of scarcity. Once they realize that true love is not about emotional highs and lows, but about steady passion combined with strength, they begin to value nice guys who bring both stability and a touch of challenge. But until then, the magnetic pull of narcissists will continue to dominate, not because they are better, but because they know how to trigger the thrill women often mistake for love.